Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're watching this. Thank you so much. Welcome back to the channel. This is No Judgment Here with Tish Ross, the podcast. I really appreciate your support. I have a very special family coming on this evening, one who is here in full force and support for their son and their brother, Dyshon. We are talking about being incarcerated for a crime that this particular gentleman says he did not commit, and the family has lived their story. I just met with them briefly. It's a beautiful family, a loving family. I got to kind of participate in some interaction between Dyshon and a niece of his, and it's just beautiful and heartbreaking at the same time. It kills me to know that there are countless thousands, hundreds of thousands, possibly, I don't even know, but of people sitting in prison, incarcerated for things that they have not committed. And we're going to get down to it this evening. Dyshon is coming in with us and he's going to share his story. His family is going to chime in. I will say that there is a little bit of a delay. So if you guys will all just bear with that. I also ask you, if you have the platform, to please, this is not about me. This is about trying to get the word out. This could happen to us. This could happen to you. This could happen to me. That people that are innocent are going to prison. And this man has been sentenced to 62 years. If you can even imagine. I can't even imagine being sentenced to 1 day for something that I did not do, much less 62 years. And so I want you to come in with open minds and open hearts. And I want you to hear this man's story. That's what this platform is about. It's about sharing our truth and what we stand on. And it is about getting this word out to as many people as we can. So I'm going to bring Dyshon in and his family, and we're going to get started. Again, please, if you can, share this out. I'm not about the numbers. I don't get paid to do this. This is a passion of mine. This is not about me. So please share it out if you can. All right, bringing them in one at a time. There's Dyshon. There is Dyshon's mom and his sister, and Dyshon's brother. Welcome in. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
My pleasure. I'm going to start with you, Dyshon. We're going to go ahead and dive in. I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us who you are and what your childhood was like.
So growing up, my childhood was full of love. I learned at a young age to have respect for my elders, to, love my peers. I was always there for my friends. I was always there, for the people in my life. I had a very great imagination. I mean, I could play with Legos. I liked it to build. I liked it to create things, not destroy. I could spend hours with Legos, just building, just creating, because I found so much beauty in just creating. My whole life was about that. It was about, love and like carrying on and building, which is, hard to be locked up for these supposedly, allegedly destroying. That's the hardest part, is having something attached to your name that you're not about.
I can't even imagine. Like I was saying during our introduction, and I can't imagine not only being the one that would be incarcerated for something that I did not do, but as a mother myself, I can't imagine my son or my daughter being incarcerated for something they did not do. And so we're going to move over to your mom and your sister. Introduce yourselves, and Mom, Donna, I would like you just to share a little bit about what kind of child Dyshon was, and then sister, if you could share a little bit about what kind of brother Dyshon is.
My name is Donna, and I'm Dyshon's mom. Dyshon was a loner. He would find the smallest thing and just sit in a corner and play with it. As a little guy. When he was in middle school, he was a joyful kid. He never gave me problems at home. he was a good kid.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good kid. He had his problems, but they was like the regular, boy things. But he
Mm-hmm.
never was like brought bad stuff to my house. And I miss my son. That's my baby they took from me.
Mm.
And I think I even had a heart attack when they took him because I love my children.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, you fight for your children. Somebody trying to hurt your kids, you want to fight them. You want to do anything you can do to save your children. It wasn't. They took him, and it wasn't nothing I could do. I want to trade my life with him because I lived my life. I wanted to let him because he never had the opportunity to live his life. And I know my son didn't do it because I used to go. I was a bus driver, and I would go to where he was at every day. My son didn't do it, and it was funny because I texted his attorney. I said, let me get understand and tell them I was with Dyshon that night. And then in the morning when I called, he didn't answer. They was all asleep. So I know my son didn't do it. And that was his buddy. That was his friend. When Dyshon was your friend, he's your protector. He protected you. And so that's why I don't understand why they you know how they started the case. I don't have no evidence. I don't have no witnesses, nothing, but they still convict them.
Donna, thank you for sharing. And yes, I definitely want to get into what exactly happened and get into the facts and also how Dyshon landed there when there wasn't any evidence against him. All right, sister, your name and just a little bit about yourself and what kind of brother Dyshon is.
My name is Deanya. Dyshon was a protector. Even though he's the baby brother, both of my brothers they were protector, father-like. He was playful, joyful, always outside playing with his friends, kickball, riding his little motorcycle bike. Even to this day, even though where he's at, he still protect, his nieces, his nephews. When they call, he helped with their homework. So he was, a good brother. He still is a good brother.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How old were you when Dyshon was incarcerated?
I think 19 going on 20. Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you for sharing. All right, brother.
How you doing? The things that stand out for me as far as him as a kid into a young man was the typical little brother. He was annoying, but at the same time, you look forward to his presence.
Mm.
At the end of the day, you hated when he was there, but you hate to watch him leave. Mm-hmm. He was my first friend. Mm-hmm. He was the first guy that I actually cared for. Then once you get a little older, like, hold on, I can talk. I know you. You're my brother, and they took that from me. Mm-hmm. And he was younger than me, but he also was somebody you could look up to.
I love that.
I never say it to him again. It's kind of hard to admit that, but I have a sister, but I shared the room with him. Sure. He was the first person I woke up to in the morning. He was the last person I went to bed with. Mm-hmm. Just like typical brothers, we had our bunk beds. Growing up in the early 90s, you only had one TV, so we argued about this. It's my TV time, it's your TV time, and boys do when the doors close and mom ain't around, and you take that for granted when it's taken away from you. Mm. Obviously, we went from elementary school, middle school, into high school. Obviously, our relationship changed, but it didn't change for the worse. It changed for the better. Because we were only a year and change apart. I literally became a man with him. Mm. From the good times, the weird times, that was my first friend. And as I got, the first half of my life, it was just him. Mm-hmm. And now I'm in the second half of my life, and he ain't there. And that's what makes it rough.
I'm sure it does, Daiwu, and I'm so sorry. All right, Dyshon, I'm going to go ahead and swing back to you. For people that are listening that don't know what even happened, why you're even there.
When I was 19 years old, they said that I told a 35-year-old to commit a shooting. I went to trial. I found guilty of telling this man to commit a shooting. He went to trial a year after me and got found innocent of committing a shooting. They still would not take my time back. The man has said multiple times on numerous occasions, why would I listen to a kid? You know, he made comments about it. He write about it. Living with that inconsistency has been the most harshest thing. Even when I go to the county jail, I have an extreme amount of, my bail was so high that I couldn't bail out. And every other week, it seems like somebody new was writing to the prosecutor's office saying that I was confessing to them. These are jailhouse informants. And the problem is they was in multiple people's cases. They got deals to say that I confessed to them. So now some of these people I have never had a conversation with. So what's a big thing that happens in our county jails, which is all across America, is that other people will look up your name, have their people tell them about your case that's in the newspapers, and they will say you confessed to them so they can get less time and go home. I didn't understand that. I didn't know that was a thing that was happening in county jails. So it was so much inconsistencies in my case, detectives lying. And the only thing I kept saying was like all the hearsay and like, how come there's no evidence? If I conspired with somebody, how come there's no phone conversations with me and him? How come there's no texts? How come there's no eyewitnesses who said they see me with him? How come there's nobody who could place me with this man? How come nobody's testifying saying that they see me shoot somebody or they seen me or heard me telling him to shoot somebody? Every testimony that testified on my trial was, oh, he confessed to me in the cell, or I heard about this. There was no evidence. There's nothing that warrants to take my whole life from me. You know, I had a circumstantial case, and like it's like imagine dying, and it's like you're going to hell for the sins of another man, and like imagine you die, like you're standing at like the gates of hell, and they start reading your sins to you. They say you did this, right? They say that you planned that. They say you're responsible for things you never touched, never said, never did, and like you interrupt them with like panic in your voice. Like, wait, that's not me. You got the wrong person. But nobody looks up. Nobody checks. Nobody listens. In the gates of hell, they just open up anyway. That's what it's like to be innocent sent to prison.
Oh my gosh. And when you say they said that I told somebody to shoot somebody, who is they?
The prosecutors. That was their theory, is that I gave an order to Dennis Thigpen to shoot somebody. At the time,
so
I'm 19.
How were you arrested? Where were you? Kind of take us back to that when you were arrested, and were you interrogated and all of that?
Yes, I was interrogated and I was arrested. Well, I heard they was looking for me, and I went to the police station. And when I went to the police station to turn myself in, they questioned me. And I went to the county jail. I had a lawyer, right? They gave me a lawyer. I had a good lawyer. He was like, there's no evidence in this case. They're going to have to throw this away. And then a couple of weeks later, they took that lawyer off my case and they gave me another lawyer. And he used to sleep during my, like, when we used to meet up or attorney visits, he'll fall asleep right in the middle of it. And I felt it then that I'm going to lose my life.
He would literally fall asleep, not figuratively, literally fall asleep. He was known as, it's not a secret, he was the worst public defender, worst public defender. He wasn't, and that's who they replaced the one attorney with, the worst out there. The man literally came to court with one sock on, and literally.
Wow.
When you sit down, his pants went up. He literally only had one sock on. He wasn't in the well-cut man. He literally fell asleep in court. And that
Did they say why? Did they say why did they say to you why? Because I'm just going to assume why they dismissed the other attorney, because he was good, because he was saying that there was no evidence.
I had talked to him, and he said, Miss Looney, your son, it's no evidence against him, but somebody in here has it out for him. And after that, he was off the case, and I never heard from that man again. He called me and told me, he said, your son didn't do this. He said, but the problem is somebody in here have it out for your son. We was in Tom's River. They even asked me, can I leave? You know why. Well, I don't want to say why, but they asked us, they asked me, I'm a single mom. I'm working, I'm raising my babies, and they wanted us to leave. I didn't have no thousands of dollars just to jump up and leave. But I wished I would have just left with the clothes on our back to save his life, because I would have did it. But I didn't know that hatred is real.
It is.
I thought that, I always thought my whole life that you need evidence to lock somebody up. You need a gun. You need an eyewitness. You need some type of physical evidence, not stories, not a theory. You know, something tangible to take another man's life from them, and then have them, you know, just live in the hell. I always thought that a detective needs to investigate. And it was so many lies, so many contradictions in my case that if you like go to the my petition, you will see like all the different lies that the detective and the prosecutor got caught in. And it's harmless errors where they lie. But with a case with no evidence, everything is detrimental towards a case. I wasn't given a fair trial. I wasn't given a fair chance. I was just in a place that, and I think mentally I wasn't able to understand what was happening at that moment to me.
How old were you, Dyshon?
I was 19 when I got locked up, and I was 23 when I went to trial.
And so when all this happened, where were you when all of this happened? When this shooting happened, and where were you?
So the night when the shooting happened, I was with this girl, then I was with my mom, and then I went back to my house where I was staying at. I was nowhere to be around. But the crazy part is that this guy testified at my trial, named Christopher Brown, and he gets locked up. He says he knows nothing about the crime. His father is a state trooper. He says, no, Dyshon wouldn't do nothing like that. I don't know nothing about no crime. A year later, he gets locked up for 11 armed robberies. 6 of them was banks. Then he changes his story. He says, well, listen, I got information about a murder. If you can, get me less time, maybe I can help you. He was facing 144 years. He said the night of the crime, Dyshon showed me the body. And he said, this is what happens when you snitch. Then I get locked up. The next day he moves in to my house with my girl. He starts a relationship with my girlfriend. This all comes out during trial. His phone record hangs him at the crime, at the scene. I don't know if he did it. I don't know if he didn't do it. But the point that nobody investigated this. A man you have on camera running in banks with guns. A man that you have on camera running in stores with guns. They gave him 7 years to testify on me.
My gosh. He
went from 144 years to 7 years. He went home, created another armed robbery, said he had information on other people, and got 5 years for that one. The insane part about it is, during my trial, it came out that he said, when I seen the body, I seen that the person was shot twice in the head. My lawyer said, wait a minute. It was pitch black nighttime. Only person who knew how many times he got shot in the head is the person that shot him in the head. And he said, no, see, when I left, I came back with a flashlight later on to look at the body. And no red flags went up for nobody. Like, wait a minute, this doesn't sound right. So then he said, my lawyer asked him, how come you didn't tell the police that when you got questioned the next day after it happened? He said, because I was scared of Dyshon. You were so scared of him that he started a relationship with his girlfriend and moved in? Nothing happened. Even with all that said, nobody has still testified and said they seen me commit a crime. They gave him 7 years to say that I showed him a body, which never happened, when he was facing 144 years. I've never shot nobody in my life. I've never told nobody to shoot nobody in my life. I don't know how to unravel stories because it's nothing but stories. It's not proof. I asked the prosecutor at one point, I asked my lawyer and the prosecutor, I said, why don't we just all take lie detector tests? Well, that doesn't stand up in court. That doesn't, well, if I agree to take a lie detector test and none of your witnesses take a lie detector test, I think that speaks volumes. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I still to this day, the first time I've seen a dead body is in prison. I mean, the first time I've seen somebody get murdered is in prison.
So you had a trial? You had trial?
Yes.
Was it a jury trial or?
I had a jury trial.
And so, my gosh, where did 62 years even come from, Dyshon?
I think about it every day. I don't know why so much time. I just know that it's a lot. It's a lot of time. I spent all my 20s and 30s in prison. And then nobody ever said I shot anybody. Even the prosecutor, they said that their whole theory is that at 19, I told a 35-year-old to shoot somebody. I'm the only one in prison. You don't have enough evidence to convict nobody of a shooting, but you have enough evidence to convict me of telling somebody to shoot somebody, which to me is a contradiction. I don't know why there's so much time.
And did you try to appeal? Did your lawyer?
Yes. I tried to appeal to no avail. The first time you go back, you go to the same court with the same judge. In Ocean County Court in New Jersey, it was very unfair. They denied me, and on the one on my appeal that denied, they said, well, they go back to a phone conversation. They said that somebody said that it was overheard, but the phone record stated that nobody called at that time. So it's like it's hard to fight a case with no. It's hard to fight a case when there's no DNA to. There's not even an eyewitness to challenge. There's no phone records to challenge. There's no texts. There's no smoking gun. So it's so hard to appeal a case with no evidence.
So what can you do now? What can you do now?
Like awareness. I got a petition now that, asking the governor of New Jersey to review my case. I'm not asking for sympathy or pity. I just want somebody to look into my case and really judge it fairly, with unbiased eyes, and and just really look at the evidence in my case. Look at the lies, the contradictions, the people who are testifying, and really give me a fair opportunity.
And so the petition that we have in the description here, what can people do when they click on that link?
Well, when they click on the link, they could sign my petition. They could share it. It just bring more awareness to my situation and as a whole. The more it gets out there, hopefully somebody can see it. Hopefully somebody can help. Hopefully,
That is my hope and prayer for this, Dyshon. I'm going to move to your brother, Daewoo. Daewoo, with all of this that Dyshon has shared, tell me a little bit about what your feeling is, and what have you, and I'm sure, and I know, but just to tell our guests or our listeners, what have you guys tried to do? Who have you gone to speak to? It sounds like nobody will listen. Nobody's listening.
You pretty much hit the nail on the head. You get astronomical numbers when you talk to appeals attorneys and stuff like that. People saying, $50,000, $80,000, but at the end of the day, there's no guarantees. $80,000 to file paperwork, and if it goes to trial, it could be an additional $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 on top of that. I'm a small business owner. I'm a husband. I'm a homeowner. But the average American citizen doesn't have $80,000 to $150,000 to throw at something for someone to say the best I can offer you is he doesn't get any additional time. You pretty much told me my little brother's gonna pretty much be in there forever.
My God.
So no one has that type of money. I mean, 2026 in this economy, you're lucky just to put groceries on the table.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
If I hit the lotto tomorrow, but I'm pretty much not banking on that.
Right.
And to piggyback on one of the things he said, the young man that testified against him, claimed my brother brought him to the body. The physical evidence on the scene, the shoe prints, didn't match my brother. I don't remember the exact numbers we're talking about years ago,
Sure.
But for instance, let's say the size shoe there was a 13. My brother was an 11. There were multiple cigarette butts found around the young man's body. They did DNA testing on it. It didn't match my brother. We're not talking about one or two cigarettes, multiple cigarette butts. So if someone was there, I'm pretty sure some physical evidence he would have left behind.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing matched, but you're claiming he was there. So I guess he levitates now. You know, so even that story makes no sense. I personally never knew someone offered time was considered a credible witness. I'm a father. If you tell me right now, hey, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'll go home to your kids tomorrow, the average person is going to do what they got to do. You know, but I never knew that was considered credible.
Right.
And to give my little brother 62 years and you have nothing, it doesn't make sense to me.
At all. That makes zero sense. I don't get it.
I feel like he was more punished because he wouldn't cooperate. When they asked him certain questions, he either A, didn't do their job for them, or B, he didn't know enough to actually say, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 happened. Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard to say something happened when you weren't there.
Right.
So when he wouldn't, I guess, quote unquote, play ball, in Ocean County, you get a harsh punishment. Like my mother stated earlier, they asked her to move. I mean, it's not kind of hard to figure out why.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Donna, tell me, what have you tried to do? What is I know your stance for sure is that your son is innocent. You know he's innocent. He was with you. Mm-hmm. Did anybody ever ask you to come on the witness stand and share anything? Did anybody ever ask you?
Never. And I even offered them to let me get on the stand. But Mr. Goings, that was his name. He was like, no, you're his mother. They're not going to believe you. So he wouldn't let me get on the stand.
That was the biggest mistake on my part. The biggest mistake on my part was I listened to my attorney. My attorney told me not to take the stand. He says, don't take.
Go ahead, baby.
He said, don't take the stand because it's not good for nobody being tried to take the stand, that the burden's on the state. And then now, after all these years, I felt like that was a lie. I should have took the stand. I'm innocent. And the more I think about it, I feel like and I talk to other people, and everybody that's here that went to trial, they lawyer told them the same thing. Don't take the stand. Don't take the stand. And I'm like, who wants to hear half a story? Right? Like, if somebody, this person did this person did this person did this, who will sit there and they won't defend themselves? And I felt like a lot of us fell to the same trap of not taking the stand and telling our stories.
And the jury was mostly older people. It wasn't his period was older people that lived a different lifestyle from us. And I didn't understand that. It was only one.
They were from Holiday City, literally Holiday City. And that's a retirement community, that was 55 and above.
The senior citizens. And it was, they didn't even act like they was interested. They was just sitting there like, they was listening to a boring story, like, hurry up so we could leave. And I'm like staring at these people like, this is my baby. Mm-hmm. Even when they had the clemency, we called. And I pleaded with them. I said, can just one of y'all please just take your time out and read this case. Just read it. I said, if it was your child, I would take my time out and read the case for you. I said, that's all I'm asking you. I'm not asking you to say, oh, he's not. Just read the case and you would know that he didn't do it. That's what I don't understand. Why they got even when I'm watching them stories on TV, on ID, them people don't, they actually do the murder and get 20 years and go home. You gave my baby 62 years.
Exactly.
And then I remember my daughter was bringing me home and her friend from New Jersey called and they tricked me because they told us that it wasn't no court that Friday. We were supposed to go to court. And we called, they said, no, we're not having court. So I'm in Virginia at a wedding. Then I get back to where I live at. And they're going to tell me that they found my son guilty. I was like, how is he guilty? I was so upset. My daughter driver, I was trying to jump out the car because I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe they took my baby from me.
So they had court and they told you that they were not having court, and he was found guilty.
Court on Friday, so we didn't come.
They claim it was canceled.
No, they said it wasn't no court.
Oh,
We was already in Virginia. Virginia is nothing compared to, we would have been up there. They told me no court. Like maybe a week or two later, me and my daughter's driving, and her friend called and told her they found my bag. I said, how did he didn't go to court? And at first she said, yes, he did. I couldn't believe it. He was on like on Route 30. I was trying to jump off the car. My heart was so broken. And
oh my gosh.
I went to I think that's why my health failed me so badly. I couldn't take it, but I hold it all in, And when I went to the doctor, he said, Miss Loon, you had a heart attack. But I didn't tell him why or what's going on in my life, You don't want to tell people, But I love him so much, and I'm so proud of him. I wake up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I said, I thank the Creator God so much for my children, and I love them, and I'm proud of each and every one of them. And they adore me, and they love me back. Even though he's away, if I fall, he's still going to find some kind of way to hold me up. I lost my mother, my brothers, my baby brothers, and he was right there with me. Ma, come on, Ma, you're strong, Ma. Ma, you got to keep on going, Ma. So that's what I do. But I know one thing, because I believe in who created us, who created me. Mm-hmm. I'm going to see him come home. I know that's going to happen. I know it's going to happen.
I'm praying so. And the only reason, like I had shared with you guys before we went live, the only reason why I'm praying so is all I can say. I pray that if it's not this podcast, that it's something else, that someone else sees and someone else can get you out of there. Dyshon, this is not right. This is not right.
It's crazy. Somebody take your kid from you. You want to lose. You don't understand. You lose everything. Your health, your mind, your heart. They don't understand what they did to me.
It's being put into a place that they say prison for a guilty man is punishment. Prison for an innocent man is torture, being buried alive under lies.
Dyshon, we're losing you. You're breaking up a little bit. We missed a lot of what you had just said, actually. The last thing that I heard was that you said prison for the innocent is torture.
Yes, prison for the innocent is torture. It's like, being buried alive under a bunch of lies. Well, the thing that I appreciate the most in my years of incarceration is that I held on to my humanity. Being in a violent situation all the time, having to watch your back, having to watch other people, having to absorb everything that you're around, it changes people. It turns people into savages, turns people into monsters. I held that at bay. You know what I mean? I'd like to teach people how to read and write poetry. I run classes. I'm staying active and trying to stay human. I started a cleaning business on the streets with my friend, and she runs it. We got an LLC, and it's under my name. I got credit cards. Like I like to stay active into my community. So I got workers that work for my company, and we pay them because I don't want to lose my humanity. I don't want to lose a part of who I am. I don't want to be the monster that prison makes most people.
You said earlier that you've never seen anybody killed or deceased, but until you got to prison. So there are people in there that are actually losing their lives. And for
more than you think. I've seen people get killed over the smallest of things. I've seen people get killed over a bag of coffee. I've seen people OD and die. One of my friends I grew up with, he hung himself, and They left his body out in the middle of the tier because they couldn't touch the body until the coroner came. And the coroner didn't come for hours. So his body started shriveling up before they took him out. He sat there in front of our cells. It had to be like 6 hours. You know, they couldn't even put a cover over him. They just, you know, and lock up in a hole. People die. People kill themselves. Quite common, quite frequently. The violence is on a level. It's more violent here than some war zones. You know, but it's your everyday life. It's how you. It's where you live. It's how you survive.
How do you survive, Dyshon? How do you survive? How are you making it in there? I mean, I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer, but I don't think you can get any worse than being locked up for 62 years for something that you didn't do. But I myself, gosh, is every day a choice? How are you doing this?
Hey guys, it's everybody has that voice in the back of their head when they wake up in the morning. It's not just me, it's every prisoner. The first thing we do when we wake up in the morning, we get a little bit upset that we woke up. You know what I mean? Because you wake up in purgatory. You wake up in the form of hell. Then you sit there, you give yourself a pep talk, you look at the wall, and you prepare yourself for the day. You have to put on a face. You have to put on a fake smile. You have to act like everything's okay. Nothing is. You look over the railing, and you always hear the voice in your back of your mind, jump. And I think we all fight that voice every day. You know what I mean? You see it in people's eyes. They you know, it loses focus. They get around something sharp. They get around everything. And I think the first thing in everybody's mind in here is end it. We fight those voices back. We survive, and we live another day to fight the same battle. And I think every day those voices get louder and louder. You know what I mean? And then one day you go into the shower and you see somebody, they lost the battle. They in there bled out.
Jeez.
They get sober, somber, you feel bad for him, you feel sad for him, and then you feel happy for him that he's leaving prison. When they taking his body out, you envy him for leaving. He's going home. And the next day we wake up and we live the same thing again. We fight the same battle again.
What about you, Daewoo? How do you feel about what your brother is sharing? How are you making it with your brother in there, knowing that he is innocent? I have siblings as well, and when I genuinely put myself in your family's place, I can't even talk.
It's unfortunately it's pretty much our family's new reality. It's something you didn't plan for, something you didn't expect. It's almost like a death in the family where the person wasn't sick, they were healthy, you just talk to them and then they're gone. You've never seen them coming. Guilty people don't turn themselves in. That's another thing people need to realize. The police didn't catch him. We literally heard rumors in our old neighborhood, the police are at your old address looking for your brother. Guilty people run.
You're right.
I didn't do nothing. What do they want? Went to the police station. When my brother went to the police station, I expected him to come home. Over 20 years later, he still hasn't come home. I mean, you got people that do heinous things. I never really heard a person do something crazy and say, "Hey, police, I'm over here. Don't even worry about it. I'll come to you." You know, it's rough. I had milestones in my life where I got married. My little brother wasn't there. I had kids. He wasn't there. I mean, he has nieces and nephews that know of him, but they don't have the uncle relationship they deserve. And I'm not a hypocrite. If my brother did it, I wouldn't be out here wasting my time. But I, not even in my heart, but for a fact, he didn't do it. That's almost like me and you have done it. You know you weren't there. I know I wasn't there, but we're sitting in a cell with him now, just because someone said, "Hey, I believe."
If we experienced, death through gun violence in our family,
Yeah, our family is a victim of gun violence. So we literally know, I personally know both sides of the coin now. I know how it is to lose a family member to gun violence, and now I know how it is to have a family member accused of gun violence. But the sad part is, I know he didn't do it.
And like you said, Dawu, you said it's not just because he's your brother and you love him and you believe him. There's facts. The facts are
don't take my word. I don't want to take my word for it.
Right.
If you got time, instead of scrolling on Facebook, read a little bit. Read the evidence. Everybody sits at the table drinking coffee in the morning. Take 10 minutes and just read. Don't take my word for it.
Yes.
I'm biased. He's my brother. Don't do it. Read. It's not that. As a family, we don't want to get him out or don't want to financially bear that cost. Someone just point us in the direction how to go about it. As a family, like we always did. We're a small family, but we always figure it out. We just don't know. Give us the path. Just help us out. That's all we're really asking for.
Absolutely, and all that is in that petition. That
Correct.
just take a minute. I see the link in the comments. It's also in this YouTube podcast description. It'll be in the description as well. When it goes through streams through Roku, but just take, like you said, like Dawu said, just take a few minutes, read it and sign it. It is, I've read a lot of different pieces of information that Dyshon has shared with me. And even just, like you said, even just reading it, it's like, wow.
The holes in it are it's worse than a tennis racket. It's not going to hold water. You're
right. But for some reason,
it's called Ocean County, New Jersey.
You're right. In fact, I had another guest from the Innocence Project. He was on and he did exactly like your brother did. He and his dad went to the police station because someone had said that he was there or whatnot. He wasn't there. His dad went with him to the police station because he said, hey, let's go down there. Same thing. Go down there, tell him it wasn't me. I wasn't there, but I heard that you guys were thinking it was me. So I just came down here to clear my name. Right.
100%.
When he got down there, he was 16. And when he got down there, they told his dad that we don't know 100% if you're his dad. So you're not allowed to come in here when they were interrogating him. And he too never left.
My God.
How about you, Donna, Deanya, when you hear your brother say that sometimes those voices get loud, sometimes you're looking over the rail and sometimes those voices get loud. Deonna, tell us how you feel about that. What is your thought about all of this mess? I mean, aside from it being wrong, how do you feel?
When I see your title, live from prison, 62 years, I actually forgot how many years he was sentenced to. It was pushed back in my mind. So when I see that, it brings heartness in my heart. Like I just want to cry. I miss my little brother. And when I do get to go visit him for those 2 hours every other month or monthly, it brings joy to my heart to see him. Then I know he's okay. I worry about him every day. The environment he's in, the people that he's around, because you never know what could happen. I just hope when I'm getting older, my mom's getting older, she has health issues, and it's like me and my brother taking care of her, taking her to her appointments. He's missing out on little events that we do together as a family. And that's heartbreaking. And I wish he was here with us in person. So I pray one day, we all can be back together as the four of us. As we was growing up. It was always us four.
I pray that too. Donna,
Yeah.
I know this is hard. This is very, very hard.
Yeah.
But when you hear your son say, boy, sometimes it's tough. This is hard. And sometimes those voices get louder, but he is, like he said, he is living, he's a man of integrity.
Mhm.
He is a man of truth and honesty. He's teaching people how to read and write. My goodness, how proud you are. I heard that you are of him, and I know that you are. But on the flip side,
I always told him, because of where he was at, never ask nobody for anything. I would send my last to him to make sure he don't have to ever ask nobody for nothing. Because I never wanted my son to have to owe somebody money. See, one thing they did, when they took him, they didn't give him a $10,000 bill. They gave him $1 million bill. They know good and well I didn't have no $1 million. So when they did that, right then and there, they're saying he's guilty. But I always support my son. I don't care if I have to ask my other kids, give me $100 to send to my baby so he don't have to never ask another person for anything. And he never had to. Those people he have met was good guys. They called me, they say, Mom, you okay? Because I had got very, very sick. And they held Dyshon down because Dyshon was scared. That guy was calling me home, but I'm still here because I'm not going to leave here until I see him come home. He's saying I'm strong, but he's stronger. And I know he's going to come home. It hurts. It hurts so bad.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine. And yes, you guys are a strong family. I see it in all of you. And I want to ask you guys before we go, and you also have the opportunity, anything that you want to say, anything before we go off the air, I want you to share. But I want to ask each one of you, Dyshon, what gives you hope? What gives you hope?
It'd be the little things, a word, sometimes a picture, like a little act of kindness, and it revives my hope in humanity. And a little bit of light could illuminate so much darkness. You know what I mean? Sometimes I wake up and it's just that I hear somebody say, I love you, right? And I might get a message on the tablet, somebody say, I love you. And that little bit of light right there, and that little bit of light illuminates so much darkness. And that keeps me going to fight for another day. Because it makes me realize that as long as I got breath in my lungs, there's hope for a better tomorrow.
You are right. What can we do to help you, Dyshon? What can all of us that are listening, I know, read the petition, read it for ourselves, read it. The facts are there. Sign it. What else can we do? Share this podcast.
Yes, share the podcast. Bring awareness. Always go into every situation with just an open mind, an open heart, and that will help. America needs our criminal justice system to be revitalized. It needs to be reformed. It needs to be completely broken down. There's no way that this keeps happening to people.
Right.
And we need to be more active in our community, and because this can happen to anybody. I didn't come here because of a bad person. I came here because of a broken system. It wasn't just a bad prosecutor. It's the system that's broken. You know what I mean? And I feel like we all just need to get together and change the system.
Oh, boy. How about you guys? What gives you hope? What gives you hope, Dawu?
For me personally, I feel like you don't lose. You lose when you stop fighting. I mean, granted, he's been there for a while, but we ain't stopped fighting. So as far as I'm concerned, we ain't lose. I'm not ready to stop. I know my mother ain't, my sister ain't, and he ain't got no choice but to keep fighting. So, as far as I'm concerned, we ain't lose. We lost time. We lost that, but we still moving forward. And that's what pretty much, for our whole family, that's pretty much our mission. And even like with this podcast, we're not looking for sympathy. We're looking for advice. If you could guide us in the right direction, if that's all you can offer, cool. You know, I mean, we're one step closer.
Yes.
So that's why I'm personally here. And, you know, that's my personal goal, is just someone, a little bit of advice. Or contact. Who can I talk to? What should be our next step? I mean, the average family doesn't navigate these situations, you know, every single day. There's not a roadmap. It's not like, hey, what's for dinner tonight? You know. So yeah, we weren't prepared for something like this.
Right.
So someone that is more knowledgeable in the court system, or unfortunately their family's been victim of this, could guide us. We're all ears.
Absolutely. And if anybody that's listening, anybody that can guide, give some sort of advice, anything, my email address is in the description. You can email me. It's tross3296@gmail.com. I have connections now with this family and Dyshon, and I'm happy to pass any information, truth, anything to this family. And so any advice, any guidance, anything. So I beg you to please share this out, because you never know who might hear this and who can help us and help Dyshon and help this precious family. Donna and Deanya, what gives you hope, and anything that you want to say, before we leave?
Prayer gives me hope that one day someone will actually see his case and he'd be able to come home.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Prayer. Donna?
I just want to tell you thank you, because we didn't even have this until you offered this to us. So now maybe 500 people see the story. And I just want to tell you, Tish, thank you, and may God bless you and your family. And I hope you never, ever have to go through this.
Oh my gosh. I thank you so much, and God bless you and your family. And thank you all for coming on and being open to sharing.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Definitely appreciate it.
Of course, Dyshon, any last words, anything that you want to share before we go?
I just want everybody to love their family, man. I just want, if you're listening to this, what I really want everybody to do is call their siblings, call their parents, call their kids, and just appreciate them and love them. Let them know that, you know, you're there for them. Because I see so many people here, so many lost souls, that they don't have that. They have nobody to call. They have nothing. You know, just let them people know that, you know, that y'all family, that you love them. Because I, no matter what, and I've been locked up, I always had that, and I always appreciated that. And I wouldn't, you know, somebody might need to hear that phone call right now. So if you out there, just call everybody and just let your family know that you're there for them and you love them.
Man. Oh my gosh. Well, I thank God that he crossed our paths, and I thank God that I have new friends and in all of you, and I partner with you. I pray with you. If you have anything that you need me to do, Dyshon, this and Donna, Deanna, Dawood, anything comes up that I can help you with, do not hesitate to email me. I'm here to help. If you want to come back on, you got something else you need to say, please don't hesitate to reach out. And absolutely. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming on again. I will continue to share this out on other platforms as well. My plan is to also get this link out on TikTok. You just never know. So to each of you, I pray that you get a good night's rest, and I pray that this does some good. And Dyshon, stay strong. Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Please, everyone that's watching and listening, please give this man's case a review. It only takes a few minutes to click on the link that's in the description, the link that's in the comments. Please help is what we're asking. Please help. All right. I'm going to say good night.
I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
I appreciate
my pleasure.
You.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys have a good night. Thank you all so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. You're
Bye,
welcome.
baby.
Bye. Bye,
Bye.
y'all. Oh, man. Thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you for joining with an open heart and open mind. And I'm telling you, it doesn't take much. We heard it. And like this family said, the facts are in this petition. They're not asking for sympathy. They're not saying, well, if he did it, he shouldn't be there. They're not saying any of that. They're saying, read the facts, help Dyshon get out and get home to his family, and donate if you can. Just help this family out. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you watching. And until next time, we'll see you then. Y'all have a good night. Bye.
This is your Prospera.